What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. So we are going to do some much needed maintenance on the SC. So what I have today, I am going to do an oil change on this thing, and as well as a coolant flush. So this car has not had an oil change since I drove it at a couple events last year at Vegas Drift, and it's been sitting for about a whole year. I did check the oil. It looks good. It hasn't had that many miles on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and change it, and the reason why is because if it's such a simple thing to change and it means I get a longer period of thrash for this car, that is what we're doing. So let's stop talking story. Let's get this done. Let's go ahead and start the intro. Sounds like a good time too. So let's do that.
Search everywhere.
Go in the comments and tell me before I show you what I'm using. Tell me what oil you guys like to use, whether it's Motul or Pennzoil or whatever the case may be. Go down in the comments and let me know what oil you guys prefer to use, or what viscosity you guys prefer to use. For me, I have recently found out that the Toyota OEM oil is made by Mobil 1, and so I am also a huge Ryan Turk fan. He drives a GR Corolla in Formula Drift. If you guys don't know who he is, you guys are living under a rock, or you guys have never seen Formula Drift. So my concoction is going to be Mobil 1. This is the full synthetic, advanced full synthetic. I believe this has a SP value right there. That's SAE. The API service is SP. So I did what not many people would do, is I looked into the specifications for the SAE ratings. And so S and N plus and S and P both are very similar, which I was trying to figure out which oil I wanted to go with. I wanted to keep it so that I could find it locally, so that if I had to do an oil change, I could, which Mobil 1 you can find anywhere. This is not endorsed, by the way, by Mobil 1. No ties to Mobil 1 at all. I was running Motul in this for a while. I think, actually, you know what? I think the last oil change this thing got was Motul. So Motul is still in this, so I will be converting to Mobil 1. I did look into running a different viscosity, but because this is NA, 2JZGE, with no power mods at all, just completely stock motor with a quarter intake and exhaust, I decided to stick with this 5W30 that it calls for. Once I go built motor, and I'm like, this is my dedicated track car, once everything like built motor, you know, pushing boost, I will be changing to a different viscosity, because I've heard a lot of good things about the Mobil 1. I think it's a 0W50. So I already have the bottles just have them as memorabilia, but I do want to use them, and I don't know if there's a shelf life on oil, so let me know in the comments below what that shelf life is. So anyways, this is what we got. So we got one thing of 5W30, and it takes 5.5 quarts. I just do 6. And then we have the 90915 YZZ-D3 Denso oil filter. So this is going to be the same thread pitch and oil filter as the D1. The only difference is that this is going to be a little bit taller. So the D1 sits about here. This one is a little bit more, just gives you a little bit more oil in it, which I think is amazing. So this oil filter is not in the best spot, as you guys will probably find out. So I have a lot of stuff in between this oil filter, and it is such a pain in the ass to get to, because all of these electric wired harnesses and all of that. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you the easiest way to take this oil filter out. That's right down there. You can see it right there on the top of the screen. This oil filter is super pain in the ass to get out, because it is a longer oil filter, but it is possible. And then what I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna go pick up some distilled water, because we're gonna do a coolant flush on it. And I think I told you guys this in the last video, but this is water wetter. So water wetter is a product that a lot of tracks kind of specify to use. Water wetter, you don't run into the chance of, if your car starts leaking coolant, you blow a coolant hose on track, whatever they may be. The water wetter with distilled water is designed not only to lower the operating temperature of the car. So I think on this it says 202 degrees, and it is dyno test results. So they put this on the dyno, and I have heard a lot of people that have switched to this on track because coolant, what happens is when coolant spills everywhere, coolant has a very slick chemical formula that when it touches the ground, it does not go away, and you have to go out there with kitty litter. It's not the worst thing in the world to clean up. However, water wetter, from what I understand and what I've seen, is that it literally just dries up like water. You know, it just dries up really quickly. So we're gonna go ahead and run this with distilled water in it. And the reason why we do distilled, guys, is because, well, you know what? Comment down below in the comments why you would use distilled water over using non-distilled water. I'm gonna let you guys enter that one because I can't be the only one here, you know, giving you guys the info. So I want you guys to think. If you guys don't know, I want you guys to look it up. I want you guys to do a little bit of research into why you use distilled water with this. You can use coolant with it as well, but distilled water is just so much more budget friendly. And you know, using all of this with distilled water in it, I think it takes maybe 3 or 4 gallons. I only use concentrate when I use coolant, but with the track car, this is the only way we're gonna go. And then we're gonna go test the car, and I don't think right off the bat we're gonna see the coolant temps drop, which is fine because it is literally freezing out here. And so there's not really any reason to like push the car. I do want to see how it redlines in first, second, third, and there's a couple other things that I need to dial in for this car so that it is track ready. But guys, track day is coming up soon, and this car is about 95% done. I just need to do a little bit more things, a few more things, and we are going to be dialed. So hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys haven't already, please smash that like button and subscribe as well. Just get this thing dialed in for the track, because that is what this car needs to see, is some track time. It has been longing for it. And there's some other cool things I'm going to do to this car this next season. I want it to run, and I want it to be able to spin tires for a year. I just want to make sure that this car is ready to go, so that when I do the next revision of it, stage 2, that we have the most seat time we needed, and we are ready for that next step in horsepower. I do believe there was, I think it's Circle of Drift, their podcast. They were talking about this topic that I really want to get into. It'll probably be another video just to lightly scratch on the topic. The topic is about driving something that you're not going to be scared of driving something you're comfortable with, and learning with the vehicle. That's kind of what the whole conversation is going to be about. So if you guys want me to go ahead and make a whole video regarding, you know, just building a car that you are prepared to drive and something you're comfortable with, leave it down in the comments below, and we'll go ahead and we'll get a video going sometime soon about that topic, because I feel like that topic, especially since I'm, you know, doing something similar, building this car so that I can track it, I feel like I have some good insight for you guys. And I'm curious to know what you guys think as well. So leave down in the comments, and let's see what happens. I'm really curious to see the results of this water wetter, because I've never used it before. By the way, guys, water wetter, Redline, and Mobile One are not sponsored. I bought these products on my own. I wanted to give you guys a good review on it because you guys deserve it. Okay, guys, so it is a little while longer. I had an unexpected thing that I had to do. So oil is draining right now, and what I wanted to tell you guys real quick, I'm gonna go get something that I think every single person with the JZ, 1J, 2GR, whatever your Toyota engine is, you definitely want to have this. I actually have a plethora of them because I like to make sure that everything I use is OEM or as close to that as possible. So these are what I'm talking about, guys. And so if you guys don't know what these are OEM Toyota washers. Don't use anything else, because if you use anything else, you might have a leak. You can go to any Toyota dealership and get these, and they're not very much at all. Or you can just I'll find the part number and I'll put the part number on screen, because they have a part number, and I think they come, you could probably get them in packs. I got this pack, and I just didn't want to lose them, so zip tied them. So for anyone out there, this is super important, okay? When you do an oil change, and oil changes seem to be like, they're very, very simple, right? Like, there's not much to them. But a lot of people, what they'll do, and this is kind of a bad practice, I think anyways, is that they will absolutely torque the crap out of the oil drain bolt and the filter. Please don't do this. Well, there's no good reason to torque it down that much, because the oil pressure is going to get into the filter anyway. So as long as you have it not loose, hand tight, go as hard as you can hand tight with the filter. That's all you need. Don't need any more. And then with this, same thing. You can get 2-finger tight. That's what techs do. Please do not torque your oil filter down as hard as you can. Every single time I went out and talked to techs, they always had so much trouble getting over tightened oil drain plugs out. And most of the time, other places like quick lube shops or whatever, they will over tighten them. They're only supposed to go to like 12 pounds, like foot torque, if you torque them at all. Usually what I'll do is I'll tighten it up, get it snug with my long handled ratchet, and I will 2-finger tight, and that's it. You have to realize that the oil pressure going through the system is very strong, so it's going to push against that filter, and it's going to push against the oil drain plug. Obviously, if you have a leak, figure the leak out, get that figured out, but don't over tighten your oil drain plug because of a leak. Don't do that. Get this snipped. Now I'm gonna have to find a bag for all of these, and look at that. One just fell on the ground, so that's the one we're going to use right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these in. Take this, I'm going to put the drain bolt off. A good way of draining the oil out completely, and this is what a lot of people you can do as well, which I think is super important. If you have a project car, say a car that just came into your possession and you just bought it and you are doing an oil change on it for the first time, this is usually what I'll do. Or if the oil's been sitting for a long time, tonight I'm not going to do that, just because I know that the oil wasn't sludgy, all that kind of stuff. I don't really trust too many people when they say they did the last oil change or whatever. So here's what I do, okay? Go out and buy Walmart oil, right? Just make sure it's the same viscosity, but go out and buy Walmart oil. It doesn't even matter what oil you buy, right? As long as it's the same viscosity, you're going to drain the oil out of the car, and then you're going to put the oil drain plug back in. You're going to put up to the amount that you need to for with the crappy oil. You can run it for about 20 minutes, whatever the case is, or you can keep it in for like a day or two and just drive how you normally would drive anyways as a daily. What that's going to do with the oil in, the crappy oil is going to do is it's going to go through the system. It's going to pick up all of the, sludge, all the surfaced dirt, so to speak. So go ahead and don't replace the filter. Just keep the filter on, because oil will get dirty because there's dirty oil in the filter. But go ahead and circulate that oil around, just for a day, 2, whatever it may be. Then get the oil of your choice, whatever oil it calls for, whatever oil you want to go with. Like I said, I'm Mobil 1. I will only use Mobil 1 in that car, which actually it's funny that we're in here, because this is the oil I'll be using when I go turbo. You can't run it that many events, but that oil is very thick, so when it comes to turbo applications, it won't starve the engine, which I'm not even going to use it, but I wanted you guys to see it. That stuff is really hard to come by. You have to actually order it from Mobil 1 themselves. What you're going to do after this whole ordeal with the oil, crappy oil in, you're going to drain that out, and then you're going to change the filter, let it all drain out. I don't even care if you have to wait 45 minutes, right? Let the oil drain completely out, and it helps if, you have the car up on jack stands like you already do, but have it at an angle so that all of the oil gets poured out, and obviously the oil pan is the lowest point of gravity, but just give the car the best chance of all the oil coming out. All these quick lube places and everything like that, they will do it fast. However, there's still oil in the system that is still gonna make the good oil that you have dirty. So that's why you wanna put crappy oil, so all that leftover dirty oil will get pushed out. So after you do that, you're gonna go ahead and just do a regular oil change. But just a tip, if you guys have motors that haven't run in a while, project car you just got, and you have no idea when the last oil change was, go ahead and do the steps. That way your car will have the oil that needs to be in there that you prefer, and it won't have any of that old oil sludge in there. So just a tip for you guys if you guys want to do it. So now we're gonna put the oil drain plug back in because it's been about 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna fill up the oil with the new stuff. And it got really dark really quick. It gets really dark here very fast. After we're done with the oil change process, I'm gonna show you guys the quickest way of doing a coolant flush, as well as like adding coolant to the system. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys, if you guys haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, join the Ohana, and leave a comment down below what oil you guys prefer to use, because everyone has a different opinion. I get into oil questions all the time. Find the best price, because all of it's going to be the same. Just make sure you look at the SAE specification. Mine, this stuff is SP, which is the highest one, and they're made for turbochargers, that kind of application. So just do your research, do your due diligence to be able to get the right oil that you need. I will say right now, if you are a Subaru owner watching this, never use a roll purple. Don't do that. That is an instant, like, blown up motor. Just have a motor on the side if you're going to use roll purple. Motul and Mobil 1 are usually the best ones to use with a Subaru. But like I said, everyone has different preferences on what oil they want to use. The best oil filter, I personally think, is OEM. K&N, you can go with that. It's going to be a little bit larger, and then nut's going to be the only difference, plus filtration is going to be a little bit better. But for me, Toyota oil filters have never done me wrong. I've never had any issues with oiling other than, oil consumption in the 4Runner, and that I just add cheap oil to it because I don't want the valves to slap. But like I said, oil filter, use genuine OEM, and then oil, use whatever oil you prefer. Just make sure the viscosity is the same. You can change it up depending on the the weather outside and all of that kind of stuff. Summer oil as opposed to winter oil, but honestly, if you're not living in a place where it's -5 degrees, your oil grate on your cap is going to be more than okay. Let's stop talking story. Let's get back into this, and let me show you what we have planned for the coolant flush and then the coolant exchange. So stick around, guys. Let's go. Y'all, I'm so disappointed in myself right now. I just did the smoothest pour I've ever done, and I wasn't even filming. That's such a disgrace. Okay, well, anyways, I'll do it again as far as showing you what I do with the oil. So I did the smoothest pour, and it was the smoothest I've ever done. So what I do is I will poke a hole on the bottom and then start it and get the drain going, right? And then I'll poke a hole on the very top. I'll poke another hole, and that'll aerate the bottle so that the oil will go through. God, I just filmed this entire segment and the camera wasn't even on. Wow, that's what a rookie move. And then for the quart, you're gonna just pour it down so you have as much time as possible. And I didn't spill it all, no spill, gang. Shout out to you guys. I did you proud. I just didn't get footage, so if, I guess it doesn't count because I didn't get footage of it. But yeah, we don't have any oil leakage anywhere at all, and everything went right into the oil. Sick. In typical YouTube fashion, everything's starting to go downhill as everything is going good, so to speak. So no spill, gang. Got that in, which I'm very surprised at myself for doing that. So now, at this point, usually what you're supposed to do is you are supposed to start the car. So I already know that this engine takes 5.5 quarts. I put 6 in because the filter, the extra length filter, the YZZ-D3, it takes about half a quart, and then the YZD1, that one takes the standard 5.5. So I usually just put 6 in. Just obviously check the dipstick, make sure that it is where it needs to be. I don't care how long you've done it and how professional you are, dipstick's always right. So always check the dipstick. So I'm going to check it right now, and then we're going to go ahead and start the car. I'm going to pop the lower radiator hose off the radiator, and what that's going to do is that's going to pump all our fluid, our coolant, out of the radiator. And I'm also going to put some water into the radiator cap so that we can just flush all of that coolant out, all of the old coolant, wait till it gets to operating temperature, and then once that is that, the exchange will happen where the water from the block will come into the radiator. That'll pour out as well, out of the lower radiator hose, and then we'll proceed to fill the car up with our water wetter. So I appreciate you guys staying for so long. I did not mean for this video to take so long. I just had a little bit of a thing I had to do today, which took way longer than I was supposed to, but we're gonna stay positive. We're gonna keep going because that is the motto and that is what we're all here for. So let's go ahead and get this oil level figured out real quick. I'll show it to you guys so that you guys can, you know I did it. So I'm gonna expect it to be, yep, it's right where it needs to be. So if you can see it, it is a little over the fill mark. It's about right there, which as soon as I turn the car over, it's gonna go to right where the fill mark is. So that is exactly what we want. I don't think the camera's gonna focus, but that is exactly what we want. All right, so we got the coolant all drained. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, all the coolant that was in the radiator anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start the car and make sure that I can verify that the coolant's not going everywhere, because if that is, it's gonna be a big mess. Go ahead and start the car. If you guys haven't done this already, I would highly suggest not doing it, but this is the way, the fastest way for me to pump coolant out of the car. All right, so I came up with a solution. Don't hate me on this. I think this is pretty good, because this blender bottle the cap will perfectly be able to dump right in here if I can still not miss. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna take a while, but I would rather do this than have a whole mess of water going everywhere. And honestly, it fills up pretty quick, I'm not gonna lie. Out of the system, and I also filled up the coolant reservoir, or the coolant overflow I should say. We are dumping all this out. I just want to make sure we can start with a clean slate. The last thing I want to do is do all of this work and have coolant somewhere in the system, and yeah, we just don't want that. So I'm just waiting for the bubbles to come. It's been bubbling a good amount, which I'm glad for. And then once it gets up to operating temperature, I'm going to drain it again, get all the fluid out of the block. I'm just gonna keep doing the water cycle until we are all just water down there. And then that's when I will put in the water wetter and the other distilled water. The reason why you don't want to put regular water in and you want to put distilled is because distilled will not rust the system. You can't run distilled water in the winter because without the glycol, your motor will freeze. But because we're basically at the end of winter-ish, like the worst is yet to come, don't get me wrong, but we're trying to get this thing ready for the track. Once the track season is over, I'm gonna then go back, because I'll be driving this thing just regularly in that, hopefully if the weather's good. I'll put regular coolant in. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a waste to do that. However, I picked up 6 gallons of, and these are parent's choice. They're distilled waters for babies. I believe you mix this in with formula and they drink distilled water. I guess it's, you know, because their immune system can't really handle an undistilled water, but we have plenty of these. I got these with the water wetter, so we should not have any reason to not have this. And honestly, with the water wetter, I think the water wetter is about 20 bucks and these are about 7, so you're spending about $27 on a full flush. It's just time at that point of doing this and replacing anything you need to anyways, which I think after this next season, I'm gonna switch out the thermostat and do the water pump and do all of that general maintenance. But I want to make sure this car is good to go for the track for this next season, and then hopefully, you know, I won't have to do anything major, but if we do have to do water pump and all that stuff, I'm gonna do seals, I'm gonna do everything, because you guys already know how we do things on this channel. I mean, full concentrate, you're probably looking at about $25, $30 anyways, and then you're just gonna get distilled water anyway. So distilled water, whether I go coolant in this or water wetter, I mean, it's not gonna be that much. Like the price isn't gonna be that much. So that's basically where, you know, I am right now as far as how I am processing this and thinking about it. Alright, so we caught the majority of it, which is nice. It came out like a bat out of hell, which was kind of cool to be honest with you. We're going to let it drain out as much as possible. Oh yeah, it's coming out nicely. Oh yeah, this is coming out real nice. Let's go. I should probably mention, if you're not comfortable doing this, don't try this at home. The thermostat just opened. All of that came out. Sweet. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, same thing. We're gonna put the hose back on, fill it up full of water, run it again, do the same thing. We're gonna keep doing that until all the coolant is nice and clean. So let's do it again. All right, so after quite a big mess I made, which I'll clean up later, we are finally at the point now where it is all the water we put in, which I'm very happy for. So now I'm gonna go ahead, wait till everything drains the rest of the way. We're gonna go ahead and proceed to put the water wetter in. We're gonna go ahead and put this in right now. Look at this, guys. I've had it for so long, but I still haven't popped the seal. Oh, hopefully the seal's not broken because it's been so long. So, oh yeah, bud. Oh, that just feels so good. So this is super important that we don't mess up because all of this good stuff has to go in. I don't care about the distilled water. We can get more of that, but oh my God, look at that. I want to get it in the radiator. I don't want to get into the overflow. So we need to pour it all in. Wow, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really excited about this. All right, so that is all of it. Sweet, oh my God, guys. It's taken me a year of having this product, or a year and a half of having this product, to finally say I'm running water wetter, which I guess for a lot of people wouldn't be a big deal, but I feel like that transition from what the coolant we had in here, which I don't even know the last time I did a coolant flush, so that coolant's probably been in here for a long time, because it's not, I think it's just, it looks green, so it looks conventional. I did not put red Toyota in this, which I will be running from now on. I only run red concentrate, obviously mix it with distilled water, because what else gonna do, right? I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the water bottle. We're gonna go ahead and fill up this distilled water with it, because I just don't want to take any chances, guys. It's just not what I want to do. I'm just gonna fill it all the way up until it's full. Do that a couple times with this distilled water, and then once we get to the point where the distilled water is not as full, we'll go ahead and put that distilled water in from the jug itself. And you already know, guys, I gotta show you everything. If I don't show you guys, did it really happen? Did it? I don't know. Comment down below if you don't show it on camera, did it really happen? Tell me what you guys think. All right, guys, we're gonna start. I don't know if this counts as no spill gang, but we're gonna try it. You know, ideally what I could have done better is filled up the red bucket with distilled water and just did the same method, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be faster. But oh well, we're just going to go this route because we're already here and see what happens, because you know what, we're just in the business of going full send. $7 for distilled water, 7 gallons, which I didn't need, but you know, because I'm pretty sure it's going to take 3 gallons and be good. Usually for a concentrated coolant, or actually three gallons. 3 gallons altogether. That's what I'm gonna go with. I didn't really pick the best night to do this. It is definitely 30 degrees right now. I can definitely feel it's 30 degrees. But you know what? That's what we do for our cars. If you got, comment down below. Comment down below. What's the coldest weather or coldest temperature you've been outside working on your car? What is the coldest temperature? I want to know. Because I think mine would be about, if it's probably 30 degrees. 30 degrees is the coldest. Maybe 28 degrees, I think. Right before I went inside, it was about 28 degrees. Man, I am so excited right now for this. I will be upgrading this to an aluminum radiator soon enough. It will happen. But for right now, stock is best. All right, guys. So we are finally finished with the oil change and the coolant flush. Definitely took a little bit longer than expected, but that's not a problem because I wanted to make sure I did it right. Doing it fast doesn't always mean you did it right, and doing it properly is definitely the most important thing. So tomorrow we will hopefully be getting a little bit of a drive going. I want to give you guys the first drive because it's been a while. It's been a long time, and I've been trying to test it out, making sure that everything is, I wouldn't say perfect because obviously these things aren't perfect, but I want to make it as close as possible to track ready so that when I show you guys, I don't really have to do anything else besides drive the car to the event. I have not driven the car on the highway yet. I've only driven it on side streets, and I'm curious to know how it drives on the highway. I'll probably have to do a alignment on it tomorrow since the car's not driving straight, and unfortunately I don't know anywhere in Reno that is able to align modified cars. I'm sure there's places around here, I just haven't found them yet, So I have to reach out and see if any shop can do it before the track event happens, because when the track event happens, I want to have the car 100% out in that, where all I have to just focus on is my driving. That's gonna be the most important key. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I will let you guys know probably after the season is done how that water wetter really, improves the overall cooling of the car, since at the end of me trying to pull out all of the coolant, it could still smell coolant in there, and so I tried my best to get all of it out. I don't know if it did, and it being so cold up here, it's not easy to do a coolant flush very efficiently, because obviously when it's cold, the motor will not overheat. Thankfully, we didn't have any overheating issues. It stayed cool the entire time. Hopefully on the drive tomorrow, when I take you guys, it'll stay under that temp 2, because usually under load, like when you're actually giving the engine load in gear, the coolant will reach or a hotter temperature in general than just idling. Before I lowered the car tonight, I did tighten up the throttle cable adjuster, which then upped the idle to a little over 1,000, which is kind of what I wanted anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys learned some stuff. We're one step closer to being ready to go driving, and I'm so excited. I feel like I've been waiting so long for this, and it's finally coming around. I'm just hoping that everything goes smoothly, because if it doesn't, then it's gonna just make a long day longer, so to speak. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go, because I gotta pass out to wake up early to get all the stuff done for tomorrow's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you guys haven't already. Kind of give me some feedback on how you guys enjoy the videos too. I love hearing all the responses, and then also love responding to you guys and just being able to communicate and interact with you guys. It's always a great pleasure for me. So thank you guys again, and never forget, guys, always stay positive and stay true to who you are. Till next episode, shoots.